we will start the other practical lesson. As you see on the screen, we have computer screen and Microsoft Office, and on the mobile phone also we have one application. When you see that, I think you understood what is this. This is a little bit calculation, a little bit arranging data and some numbers, and we are talking about these numbers and graphics and the arrangements on spreadsheet softwares. Okay, now today you will learn spreadsheet packages, and I think you know that the spreadsheet packages under this our general usage of Microsoft Excel, but there is no only one Microsoft Excel spreadsheet package. We have more and different things. Just some simple informations we will give today, and maybe some simple operations we will do that. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to, you will learn to that, name some spreadsheet packets, which spreadsheet packets we have, and some uses area of spreadsheet packets, and which general features we have in spreadsheet packets. Another one is how can we load and exit, and some simple usage if we have enough time. Okay, let's start. And the first is the introduction. We need to be ready to understand it. As you see, the spreadsheet is this application of the computers to organize, analyze, and store our data. But it is the spatial formats and spatial form we are using, generally tabular form. What is the meaning of this? Tabular means when you think any list of the rows and columns. Okay, when you think about the rows and columns, we are saying that tabular form. And what about spreadsheet software or spreadsheet packets? As you know, the last lesson we talked about that. Software means application generally, and software means packets. And spreadsheet software or packets are used to capture, display, and capture and display and manipulate data. And you can see, you can understand, you can show, and you can arrange your data. Okay, let's continue. This is just one example of Microsoft Excel, or let's say spreadsheet package. And here there are some columns. The last lesson we talked that also the columns and rows. The last lesson also, I think this is the publisher, right? Okay, let's continue. We have some subtopics. If you check it, your textbook, Basic Science and Technologies textbook, inside of that we have computer studies part. And I will mention today examples of spreadsheet package, uses, features, and terminologies, and some operations like loading and exiting and opening and something spreadsheet package. Okay, let's continue. I will do it a little bit quickly, something not important, but important things are here. Some slides, and maybe you should know that. Okay, and the first example of spreadsheet package is Microsoft Excel. This is Microsoft company software. Okay, and the other one is Lotus 123. The spatial name is this, and Start View, and the other one is Quattro Pro. Maybe there are many spreadsheet packets by created the other companies, but the famous of them here, 4 of them. This is Microsoft Excel, icon or logo, you can say, and Start View logo, okay, and Quattro Pro, and the other one is Lotus. Okay, let's continue. Which areas we are using? You can think about it everywhere we can use it, like Word, like PowerPoint software, right? These are generally useful for calculating and generally for collecting and sorting and updating data. For example, you want to manage your how can I say, for example, buying something in a week, in a day, or in a month, and you want to see that how much you spend your money. And if you want to calculate it, if you want to update and also collect, you can use spreadsheet packages. Yeah, everybody, and spreadsheets are used on some areas. And which areas we can talk? Finance, calculating the money, or just some collecting informations, and forms, and school marks. As you know, we have two examinations in one term, and the first one is midterm exam, and second one is the final exam. We can make some calculation for average. We can use also very easily spreadsheet package. And to create a list, for example, market lists, and it is used by sport events, for example, making some ordering our teams, maybe, and some scores, okay? And the other one is very famous thing is chart creation. If you think chart creation, how is it? And you can make some visual things with them. Okay, this is one example. For example, for the school marks, and for example, for forms, you can make yes, no, or not available or something. Okay, and the other one is, I said that very famous thing is chart creation. Okay, the other one is, let's talk about that a little bit under these topics. And finance, if you need to learn that, generally the keywords are organizing financial data, which is calculation of account information or bad budgets or payments. Generally in finance, they are using also this method to organize financial data. Which month and which day, which one is good benefits, which one is making good increment or decrements, something, okay? And the other one is, as you understand here, I think this is a form, just the example of forms, and it is used for managing different kinds of information. Whatever you want. For example, you want to add some spatial information, to collect information, or some data analysis, as you remember the first and second weeks, and you can record it some information there. For example, number of days and absence and some surveys and analysis, everything, whatever you want. Okay, and the other one is, as you see here, is Excel worksheet, and there are some records and numbers as a percentage. We are saying that school marks, and you can make some calculation to find, for example, average or the percentage, like this, okay? We are using these spreadsheets to track students, as you know. Not only students, maybe as a teacher we can track it, or as the other people, okay? And for performance and calculate marks and identify students, which is better, is good. For example, here the first one is very good, 78%, like this. Okay, we are using in school marks. And the other one is, as you see, this is just lists. You can make some list for example, marketing. When you go to market, if you don't have any list, really, you cannot think about that. You cannot finish very quickly. Just you can think, oh, okay, let's see this. Is it good or not? I need to take it or not. You can think more, and you can spend your time. Okay, we need to do our list, and we are using to manage lists, this list spreadsheet, and what you want to do, what you want to make and buy or sell or anything, to make lists. Okay. The other one is we said that some spreadsheet packets we are using for sport events. For example, this is, I think, some continental like Argentina, Brazil. It's used by sport events, we said, and keep track of sporting events like statistical, as you see, like average, how many goals they did, and most of the men and boys, they know that they are following your team. For example, Barcelona, for example, Chelsea, Real Madrid, right? But actually I don't know very well, but I followed up before since my high school. Okay, now score of teams, we said that we can use the spreadsheet packets. And the other one is, as you see here, very good thing to show, to understand chart creation. Chart creation to illustrate our data. And for example here, what is the favorite animal? You can do it also yourself. If you make, for example, let's go back a little bit. If you make your list like this, after selecting your team name and numbers, right? And after that you can create your chart like this. Okay, this is very effectively. You can understand, oh, this is animal, favorites animal, the horses is 55%, wow, and dolphins is 32. You can think about that. Oh, lizards, who wants to see lizards now? Ah. And the other one is cats. Maybe I think it should be cats more than 2% for some countries, right? Okay, data can be visual format like charts. And also you can think about that pictures are talking instead of numbers, right? Okay, everybody, which features and terminologies we have? As you know, rows and columns. Rows go across the spreadsheet, and columns go down the spreadsheet. Let's see that here on the picture. Columns are, if I say the third column is which of them, you should think about that. The columns are here, C columns, and fifth one is E columns, okay? And if I say, please show me the fourth row, you need to go there, the left side, and the fourth row is here, all cells on the line, okay? And which one is the cell? As you know, one of the box in the spreadsheet packets, we are saying cell. Sorry guys, if you write something on the chat as a question, but I need to finish that first. Maybe at the end of the lesson, I will try to answer your questions, okay? And the other one is formulae. You know that very easy thing, the very complex formulae and very complex functions we have. But if you know this simple formulae, you can do it many things, okay? And we are using to make quick calculations. How can I do that? For example, on this picture, or let's start here. If you put equal sign and the cell name, okay, for example, addition of two numbers, you can make calculation. The first important thing is equal sign. After then, if you want to a constant number calculation, you need to write here only number. Really, for example, 500 plus 1000. If you type it, you cannot change your result. If you insert here, sorry, if you insert here your cell name, for example, C3 plus D3, even you change your number inside of these cells, it will change your result, okay? Okay, and for example, on this picture, you can see that, and there are some simple formulae, max number, minimum number of some range, average or count, okay? And at the same time, creating or entering your formula, you can go and calculate your numbers with functions. I didn't mention here, functions are inside of the formulas tab, and you should go to auto sum. When you click this drop down menu, you can find these simple functions. The first one is sum, the second one is average, and continue count numbers, max and min. These are calculating automatically which you selected your cells, okay? No need to write cell by cell. Okay, and the other one is, we have one video. This is a very simple thing. Just pay attention and what is the difference of the function and formulas and how we can use it. Okay, let's go.
Remember using formulas to calculate math problems in school? Like 2 plus 2 equals 4, or 2 pizzas times $10 equals $20? You can use these same formulas to work with numerical data in your spreadsheets, just like you would use a calculator. Excel uses standard operators for math equations, like a plus sign for addition, a minus sign for subtraction, an asterisk for multiplication, a forward slash for division, and a caret for exponents. You're probably used to seeing equations like 5 plus 5 equals, but in Excel, the equal sign comes first. That's because the cell itself contains, or is equal to, the formula and its value. Let's start off with a simple addition formula. We're going to calculate the total budget for June and July. However, instead of entering these numbers, in other words, 1,200 plus 1,500, we're going to use cell references. Here's how it works. First, select the cell where you want the total to appear. Then type an equal sign, which is how you always start a formula. Next, type the addresses of the cells you want to add. In this example, D10 plus D11. Notice how the cells you've entered are actually highlighted in your worksheet, so you can easily confirm the contents of your formula. When you're ready, press Enter on your keyboard, and Excel will display the answer. Now, you may be wondering why we used cell references instead of numbers. It's because they give you the ability to change your original values without having to retype your formula. Excel automatically recalculates the answer, so it's always up to date. For that reason, you should try to use cell references whenever you can. To edit your formula, all you have to do is double-click the cell. If you make a mistake or change your mind, you can press Escape on your keyboard, and it'll go back to the way it was. Let's try another example, this time with multiplication. I want to calculate the total price for plastic silverware, so I'll need to multiply B4 by C4. Once again, start by typing an equal sign. But instead of entering the addresses manually, we're going to use something called the point and click method. Just click the cell you want, and the address instantly appears in your formula. Most people find this much easier than typing out the cell addresses by hand. When you're done, press Enter, and the answer appears. Finally, I want to show you a quick way to add a formula to several cells at once, specifically these 3 cells. Instead of retyping the formula above, we're just going to select the first cell, then locate the fill handle in the bottom right corner. Click and drag the handle down, and when you let go, the formula appears automatically in all 3 cells. Now we can see the total cost for each item. This is a great shortcut for duplicating formulas if you plan to use the same one more than once. Formulas really are one of the most powerful and convenient features in Excel. Now that you know how to use them, they can help you calculate all kinds of useful data.
Okay, very nice. I think you understand it very easy. It's good. And let's continue the other topics. And some features and terminologies, as you know, I will go fast a little bit. And worksheet is a single page that contains cells. What is the difference of the workbook? Workbook includes many worksheets. Okay, for example, on this picture, this is the work book name. For example, the workbook name is Group Worksheets Excel, and Group, this is the software name, okay? And what about the worksheet? This is workbook, we said. These are worksheets. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 worksheets, okay? This is grouped tabs, just the name of the selected tabs, selected groups. And don't think about that these names are grouped tabs. These are worksheets, okay? First worksheet, second, third, and fourth worksheet. Okay. What about the charts? These are visual things we set to present our data, and these charts makes it easier to understand data. For example, let's see that. For example, here we have a list, some cost between 2008 and 2012, and some, for example, book cost or selling, and the prices are here, or the total prices. And when you select it, it will show to you this chart title, okay? And different chart types, you can use it. What about the data range? This is very easy thing, but maybe you can confuse it sometimes. If we ask, if you see any question in exam, and between B2 to F6, this is data range. If I say only B2, this is only cell, okay? And the other one is B2 to F6 means between these $8,580 and I'm going to write down F6, okay? 21,388. Between these numbers, all of them here, with the blue colored border here, blue colored border, all of them we are saying data range, okay? And loading and exiting, or here spreadsheet packets. And let me show to you how can we do it. From start menu we can go applications, as you see here, click it and you can find here. And to exit, if you finish that your work, you can close with the cross sign from the top of the screen, right side, close sign, and the other one way, you can go to File tab, as you see here, File tab and Close tab, okay? After that, you can finish it. Yes, everybody, after this summary and assignment and also some simple things, we will continue with quizzes. And if it is possible, I will do it also on MS Excel. How can we do it? Okay, spreadsheet packages, we said that to use for capturing, displaying, and manipulating data. And the famous of them, MS Excel, Lotus, StatView, and Quattro Pro, we mentioned that. And spreadsheets can be used for calculations, organize financial data, manage lists, and create charts. And now let's watch one video more about functions.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
Functions are a great time-saving option for calculating data in your worksheet. They can be used in place of formulas when a formula would be too long or just too complicated to write out manually. To access the function library, go to the Formulas tab on the ribbon. Here you'll find hundreds of functions to choose from. They've all been organized into categories to make them easier to find. For example, under Financial, you'll find functions that deal with things like interest and monthly payments. Under Text, you can perform text manipulations, like converting lowercase to uppercase, replacing text, and more. Date and Time includes functions that return the current date, time, day of the week, and other useful data. Some of the most common functions are pretty simple though, like sum and average. You can access these using the drop-down arrow under AutoSum. In this example, I'd like to add these 10 cells to calculate the total. If I tried to create a formula for that, I'd have to add each cell individually. Not only would that be tedious, it would also make the formula really long, especially if I had, say, 100 cells that I wanted to add. So instead of creating a formula, I'm going to use a function. First, select the cell where you want the answer to appear. Then choose a function. In our case, we'll open the AutoSum menu, and then choose Sum. Now Excel has inserted the function and also selected the cells that are being added together. If it selects the wrong cells, you can always change that by dragging the corner handles here. When you're done, press Enter on your keyboard, and the answer will appear. Let's look at this function in a little more detail. Just like formulas, functions always start with an equal sign. But you may have noticed that there are no mathematical operators, such as addition or subtraction, like you would normally see in a formula. Instead, functions use a specific syntax that includes the name of the function, followed by one or more arguments in parentheses. The arguments tell the function which cells or numbers to use when calculating the result. In this example, we only have one argument, even though there are two different cell references. This is called a range of cells, or a cell range. A cell range is represented by two different cell references with a colon in between. In this case, the range consists of all the cells between D3 and D12. If you want to use more than one argument, you'll need to separate each one with a comma. Let's try a different function now. In this example, we have a column for the date that each item was ordered and the date that it was received. What I'd like to know is how many business days it took for each item to be delivered. First, select the cell where you want the function to go. Then choose a function if you know what category it's in. If you don't, you can try searching for it instead. Just click the Insert Function command on the far left of the ribbon. Searching for functions can be tricky, but for more experienced users, this can be an extremely useful tool. Just type a description of the function you're looking for. I'm looking for something that'll count the number of days that have elapsed, so I'll type count days and then press Enter. We've gotten a lot of different results here. To learn more about a function, just click the name, and a description will appear below. The function called net workdays returns the number of workdays between two dates, and that's exactly what we want. So I'm just going to click OK, and another dialog box will appear. There will be separate fields for each argument in the function. This function has up to 3 arguments: start date, end date, and holidays. When you click a field, you'll see a description of it below. And if you need more help, you can click the link that says Help on this function. For the start date, I'm going to select cell E3. And for the end date, I'll select F3. We know the holidays argument is optional because it's not in bold, so I'm going to leave that one blank. Before you continue, you can check the result of the function here. When you're ready, click OK, and the function will be added to the worksheet. Just like with formulas, you can copy the function using the fill handle here. And now we can see the number of business days it took for each item to be delivered. If you've never used functions before, the syntax may seem a little strange at first. But with some practice, you're bound to get the hang of it, and soon you'll be using your favorite functions over and over.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, everybody.